Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are here with Maria again.
Hi.
And we're going to be talking about her time in Austria. As we mentioned, she was in Austria for about 2 years, right?
2 years. Yeah.
2 years, and you were there for the
Fulbright program.
Fulbright program, that's right.
Year.
Yep. So then basically what we're going to do is kind of talk to her about her time there, but if you're also interested in the Fulbright program, we have another video up talking about specifically about that program. So check that one out. I will also link it above or somewhere. But yeah, so let's kind of get into it and kind of talk about your experience in Austria. It sounds like a really great experience. Haven't talked to you about it a little bit before. So like you said, you were there for about how long?
2 years.
2 years, okay.
Yeah, the first year was 9 months, and then I spent the summer back home.
Okay.
And then it was another sort of 6 months with the program, and then the pandemic happened. But I stayed in Austria for another 4 or 5 months.
Okay.
So fully 2 years.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think overall that gave you a lot of time to really take in the culture and everything.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, exactly.
It's a place that's very different. We mentioned it briefly in the other video, but did you experience culture shock when you got there, just because it's such a new place?
Yeah, first it was different for me because it was a big city and I was not used to big cities at all. But second, the people were very different, especially because, I mean, we're from California. Here, everyone just like smiles and is kind of superficial. You have to always be happy. You wave and things like that. But over there, when my first week there, I remember like being a little sad because I felt like people didn't like me. And it's because I would just smile at people. Or I would wave at them or try to form like random conversation and they'd just be like, why are you talking to me? Like, this is weird. Like, you need to not do that. So people would like give me this like weird stare. And so I just stopped. And then even like when I'm used to people here, like, I don't know, Trader Joe's, like people will talk to you, they're really nice and stuff. But over there it's like, they bag your items and like you go. Like, so the line can go as fast as possible because that's polite. And then I remember after my first week, my like students had asked me, how like I felt about Austria, and I told them that I didn't really think that people liked me here, and then I explained why, and they were just like, Maria, no, like you're not supposed to do that. It's a little, the culture, I mean, people are known for being a little rude, but it's not like in a bad way. Like it's just how they are, and it's kind of charming at the end of the day. So then I learned that I shouldn't do that. That's just not something that you do here. Like be all friendly and bubbly and like smile at everyone.
Not asking like, oh, how you doing? It's just like, yeah, things like that. Okay.
Yeah, if you ask someone how they're doing, they're going to tell you like how they're doing.
Like a whole therapy session.
A whole therapy session. Okay. Somebody died. Like, it's just, yeah.
I shouldn't have laughed about that. But, yeah, so it sounds like it was some adjusting for sure initially. But after being there for so long, I'm sure you kind of developed a love for the place you were at, or else you wouldn't have stayed so long, right? Yeah. So what were some things that you really kind of like loved about your time in Vienna? Because it was Vienna specifically, I don't think I mentioned that. Vienna, Austria. But yeah, Vienna, Austria.
Some of the things I loved, I'll start with the food. I really loved the food. There's not a lot of spicy food, and I'm Mexican American, so I really like spicy, but they didn't have much, but they had a lot of like cheese and like, I don't know, sausage, bread, really great beer. I feel like there's not a single like Austrian dish that I didn't like. And I would like always like try Austrian food or any kind of food anytime that I go somewhere. They have the schnitzels, which is this huge chicken nugget, a really good chicken nugget. So I felt like it was nice to explore that. Like just it's just completely different food. Yeah. They had really great beer, really great wine. Another thing that I really loved that also kind of ties into food are the Christmas markets. They were really, really cute, and it would snow sometimes, and that was my first time experiencing snow, and I found out that I really love it. And so the Christmas markets were good. They also had really great food in there, and then people would come from different regions too, and like you try cheese from like the north or the east or the south and stuff. So that was cute. Another thing that I really liked was the public transportation because it has one of the best public transportation systems in the world. So it was just nice to have like a reliable public transportation. The US does not have that. It's really bad here. It's just cars here. So it was really great to have that. And I felt safe too. I think it's known for being a pretty safe country overall. So
those are all really amazing points. Like, I've always wanted to travel everywhere, but now I really want to go to Austria. After hearing what you're saying about it, it sounds like a fantastic place. I hope everyone gets a chance to go one day. I really want to go. But what were some things you didn't like as much, or hated even, maybe? That's a strong word. So let's stick to like.
Some things I disliked.
Yes.
Yeah, just because I don't like cheese.
Yeah,
Right?
very
Some things
dislike.
I dislike.
Yes.
I think so. I used to think that like people were very welcoming when I first got there, especially because I would say, "Hey, I'm from California, Mexican American," and when someone heard like Mexican, they think like, "Wow, like that's so great! Like your culture is beautiful," and that's not at all what I hear in the U.S. So I was like, "Wow, they're more accepting over there." But then I quickly found out that they're not. Like they treat people from the Middle East, people who are Syrian, Turkish, etc. They like very differently. Basically, how they treat immigrants here and refugees and like people from Latin America, Central America is how they treat people from the Middle East over there. So I didn't like that, and it was sort of like hidden racism here. It's like you say it out loud and you know someone's racist, but over there it's like hushed down over. But yeah, and it's just like a lot of people are xenophobic or they're just like not open to people from other countries or other places or refugees, and they're very like blatant about it. The Islamophobia there too, like there's some Islamophobia here, but I would say more over there just because it's like closer to the Middle East. I just didn't like seeing how they treated them. And then the last thing that I actually do kind of hate is like there's a lot of, I thought, you know, that Nazis didn't exist anymore before going to Austria. And then I went and then learned that there's actually a lot of Nazis. And it's just kind of like, well, like, yeah, they're here, like, so what? Like no one ever, like, addresses it. It's just kind of something that, like, was pushed under the rug, but it's just, like, normal. I don't know. Which, I don't know, that felt pretty uncomfortable because then there's, like, the cities that are filled with, like, Nazis. So, and it's just, like, known. Like, it's just normal. And, yeah, I don't know. It made me feel uncomfortable.
That sounds something that's not too pleasant, to say the least. So that's unfortunate, but overall you like it, so it's not to the point where it's like unenjoyable. Like it's still,
to me at least,
okay. I mean that's good. So now that we've talked a little bit about some of the things you liked and disliked, can you walk us through like a regular kind of like week or something like that, just kind of like the ins and outs of you living in Vienna?
Yeah, so every week I would say was pretty different, but ultimately I would do the teaching every week. So that was 4 times a week. I would go and teach in a high school that was right down my street. Every Friday I would volunteer with the girls at Backbone 20, which I talked about in the Fulbright video. And I also would go to a lot of coffee shops almost every day, just because I don't know, they had just a big coffee culture in Vienna, and it's amazing, the best coffees and everything. And
a lot
the
of
cutest
frappuccinos, kind of stuff like that.
No.
I'm just kidding. That was a joke. For anyone watching this, I'm just kidding. I know they don't do that.
Like, oh.
I was just pulling you like a little bit, but like, it's definitely not like the Starbucks kind of coffee cafes that you think about.
They laugh at Starbucks. Starbucks is nothing compared to.
It's just sugar and milk. Honestly, it's just sugar and milk at this point.
Yeah.
It's just, but I'm sure they had great coffee, and I remember you saying like the ambiance is really nice. So it seems like a great place to go to.
And there's always like museums too to go to, and different bars, and everything's so unique and different, and bands that come and play.
That's really cool.
And I would also travel to different places in Austria, but like countries too, because of our location. It's like, I don't know, going to Austria, it's the central location to like see anything. Very cheap to travel to, so I don't know, every other week I would say traveling, like not just in Vienna, but like places in Austria or like the surrounding countries. So
what are some countries that are really nearby, like that were really easy for you to access while you were there?
So Slovenia is right underneath it. Okay. So there was Slovenia, there was also Prague, Czech Republic, there's Bratislava, so Hungary, and there's Italy too, is also right like next to us too. But everything else is also like a flight away.
Yeah, it's true. There's cheaper flights over there too, right?
Yeah, like you can go by train for an hour, and you're somewhere, but like you can go by I don't know, spend 30 euros on a plane and get somewhere too. So
that's really great. I mean, it sounds like a great opportunity, just kind of being there to kind of like jump off different. Because to me, it seems like you're pretty condensed, but even just going a little bit over, it's a whole different culture. So I think that's a benefit of being in Vienna, where you were able to do that and stuff. So that's really great. Is there anything else? Sorry, I interrupted you a little bit. That you kind of did throughout your time there, you'd like to mention?
Oh yes. So I talked about the Christmas markets, but there's also the balls. Like, they had like a ball for science, and these are basically like these big, I don't know, events where people wear like the princess dresses, which is what I did. And there's like a ball for candy, and then in this ball they give out candy. There's a cake ball, so they give out cake. I went to like the Tehuwin ball, which is the one where like the Fulbrighters would go to. And that was all like really fun. And there's also the operas too. So there's a lot of music and like art and stuff in Austria that you can do.
That's really great.
So I liked to like dip my toes in those things too.
Yeah, that sounds really amazing, man. I really want to go there now more. Just listening to your stories and stuff. So we've talked about those of the stuff you like and dislike, and like some of the things you did throughout your time there. But what are some of your favorite memories that you've kind of taken away with and still have with you?
So when I think about my favorite memories, I always think about the times that I traveled with my friends. I had a really great like travel group, and it was when we would see different parts of Austria, because Vienna was really amazing in its own, but it was also really nice to see the mountains or the Alps, or to visit Salzburg and Innsbruck and see like how similar but also how different it is. Like there'd be different dialect. They would each have their own like little charm, their own like more common like phrases and sayings, and more common like food that they eat over there. So that was also really nice. Again, the mountains were also just like beautiful in Austria. So that was really nice to see there. And the fact that I was with a really great group of people, I would say. So anytime that I traveled with friends and saw some mountains.
Yeah, no, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about your friends, how did you kind of meet them? Were they other kind of like Fulbright scholars, or were they kind of like just people in Austria, Austrians, or what was that like?
So I would say about 60% were people from the Fulbright program, and then also from the USTA program, so Americans, just because it was easy with all the events that way. And then the other parts, I was in 2 different relationships while I was in Austria, my first year and my second year, and I had met some people through them, like their family and then their friends too. So it's a mix from like their connections, but then also like my own connections from the program that I did.
Gotcha.
So altogether, both, but mostly Americans.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. And then I guess the last kind of big question that I have for you is, any advice or tips for anyone kind of interested in going to study abroad in Austria, or do something in Austria long term, or already there maybe, or anything kind of anyone interested in that?
So something it's really common for people to do who do go to Austria is they'll say like, I'm only going to be here for 5 months, I'm only going to be here for a year, and everyone ends up staying longer, or mostly like 95% of people stay longer. So I would plan around trying to stay as long as you want. It's a really great place, really great like place to live and explore different things in different countries and stuff. It's different now with COVID, but it's still like a really, really great place to visit. And there's different programs too, and it's usually really well funded. Like I would say like the government, Austria as a whole, really likes having people from other countries come into Austria, and they like sending people over too, and like learning about others. So in terms of that, there's like the USTA program where you could teach English. In Austria, there's the Fulbright program, which I really highly recommend applying for. And I feel like even if you don't do it through those programs, there's other things that you can do and reach out to other people in Austria. I feel like a lot of people there would be like willing to take you in or wanting to like work with you. So.
Awesome. Those are all very helpful tips for anyone interested in going to Austria long term. So I'm sure they appreciate it. I have appreciated learning everything about Austria so far. It sounds like an amazing place, and again, I really want to go. So, and then the last thing I always kind of let anyone that I kind of speak to, any closing words that you'd like to say to anyone who's seen this video?
Something I think I might have forgot to say in this video is to make sure that if you do go to Austria, you learn some German and that you actually speak it. I think a lot of the times I just had my friends do it. I had like my Austrian boyfriends, they would translate for me, or like my Austrian family, they would translate for me. And so it was easy for me not to practice my German, but I should have, and I wish that I would have practiced it more. So I would say like, do that. And then also things are different with COVID, but it's still very well worth it. And I think they're trying to like continue and have these like people going over there throughout whichever program that you pick. And anything else? No, I think that's it. Please go. It's really, really great. I'm always telling people like, go to Austria. It's amazing.
Awesome. Well, that was fantastic, a lot of information. I'm sure, like I said, everyone appreciated watching this. I definitely did too. So thank you. And with that, that's kind of it. And please check out our other video where we talk about the Fulbright program, which Maria also speaks to. So thanks so much, and hope you guys enjoyed it. See you.
See ya.